There is a silent alarm ringing in the depths of your soul. You can feel it, can't you? It's not a sound you hear with your ears, but a vibration you feel in your bones. It's the dull, persistent ache of a life unlived. The ghost of a future you, tapping on the window of your present moment, begging to be let in. You see reflections of it everywhere, in the success of others, in the stories of the great, in the quiet moment just before you fall asleep, when the noise of the day fades and the truth rushes in. The truth is this: you have outgrown the person you are pretending to be. The life you are currently living is a suit of clothes that no longer fits. The seams are splitting, the fabric is worn thin. It constricts your breathing, it limits your movement, and yet you continue to wear it. Why? Because it's familiar, because taking it off means standing bare, exposed to the elements of change. It means admitting that the path you've been walking has led you to a place you no longer belong. This is the most dangerous comfort zone in existence. Not the comfort of luxury, but the comfort of mediocrity, the comfort of the predictable. The comfort of knowing exactly how the day will unfold, how little will be asked of you, how little you will have to risk. This comfort is a cage with velvet bars. It is a slow poison disguised as peace. It is the silent killer of every great dream this world has ever lost. The old version of you was forged in survival. It learned to be small to avoid criticism. It learned to be quiet to avoid confrontation. It learned to lower its expectations to avoid disappointment. It was a necessary creation for a time and a place, a shield built to withstand the pains of the past, but you are not in that past anymore. The threats it was designed to protect you from are now just shadows, and the shield has become a prison. It is heavy, it is cumbersome, and it is blocking the very light you so desperately seek. To force yourself to outgrow this version is not an act of violence against yourself. It is an act of liberation. It is the snake shedding a skin that has become too tight. It is the seed cracking its own shell to reach for the sun. It is a declaration of war, not on the world, but on the limitations you have accepted as your own. It is the most profound act of self-love you will ever commit. Look around you. The history of human achievement is a testament to this very process. Every great leap forward was preceded by a profound dissatisfaction with the present. Andrew Carnegie was not content to remain a poor Scottish immigrant. He felt the pull of a future self, a titan of industry, and he forced himself, through relentless effort and unwavering vision, to become that man. Henry Ford was not content with a world where the automobile was a toy for the rich. He was haunted by the vision of a car for the great multitude, and he forced reality to bend to that vision, enduring failure after failure, ridicule after ridicule. They did not wait for permission. They did not wait for conditions to be perfect. They did not wait for a sign. They felt the internal schism, the gap between who they were and who they knew they could be, and they chose to close that gap with deliberate, forceful, and uncompromising action. They declared the old self obsolete. They signed its death warrant with their ambition. Your moment of decision is now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, because the old you will never feel ready. Its entire purpose is to maintain the status quo. You must act in spite of that feeling. You must force the first step. You must look that comfortable, familiar, and fearful version of yourself in the eye and say, with absolute conviction, your time is over. We are done here. I have a destiny to meet, and you are not invited. The alarm is ringing. It's time to answer the call. The war is not waged in the world of spreadsheets, business plans, or networking events, not at first. The primary battlefield is the 6 inches between your ears, your mind. This is the territory the old you has occupied for years, building fortresses of doubt, laying minefields of fear, and broadcasting a constant stream of propaganda called "I can't." To force an evolution, you must first stage a revolution within your own consciousness. You must become the architect, the demolitions expert, and the master builder of your own mental landscape. This begins with a ruthless audit of your thoughts. For the next 24 hours, become a silent observer of your own mind. Carry a pen and paper if you must. Listen to the voice that narrates your reality. What does it say when you face a challenge? What is its knee-jerk reaction to a new opportunity? What story does it tell you about your past and what it means for your future? You will be shocked. You will discover a deeply ingrained saboteur, a ghost in your own machine, whispering limitations you thought were your own. You're not smart enough for that. People like you don't succeed. It's safer to just stay put. You tried that before and failed, remember? These are not your thoughts, they are echoes. They are inherited beliefs, outdated programming from childhood, scars from past failures that the old self clings to like a security blanket. Napoleon Hill called this principle autosuggestion. He understood that the subconscious mind does not argue. It accepts what it is fed, especially what it is fed with emotion and repetition. The old you has been feeding it a diet of fear and doubt for decades. Your first active force is to cut off that supply line. You must consciously, deliberately, and forcefully seize control of the information entering your mind. This is not about positive thinking in the fluffy, passive sense. This is about mental domination. When a thought of doubt arises, you don't gently shoo it away. You hunt it down, you challenge it. You demand to see its credentials. Says who, you ask. By what authority do you declare this limitation upon me? You strip it of its power by exposing it for what it is, a phantom, a rumor, a lie. Then you replace it. This is the construction phase. You must craft new beliefs, new affirmations, but they must be drenched in the fire of absolute conviction. Writing on a mirror, "I am successful," means nothing if the old you is snickering in the background. You must feel it. You must build a case for your new belief, as a lawyer builds a case for his client. Find evidence. Even the smallest victory in your past is evidence. The one time you pushed through a workout when you wanted to quit? Evidence of your discipline. The time you learned a new skill? Evidence of your ability to grow. The time you showed kindness to a stranger? Evidence of your character. You must become a collector of your own forgotten power. Build a fortress of proof around your new identity. Thomas Edison did not believe he was a failure after 10,000 failed attempts at the light bulb. His internal narrative was not, "I am a failure." It was, "I have successfully found 10,000 ways that will not work. I am closer to the solution." He was forcefully programming his own mind to see every setback as progress. He was the master of his internal kingdom. This is the force required. It is the force of a gardener who rips out weeds by the root, not just trims the leaves. It is the force of a blacksmith who takes the raw iron of his circumstance and hammers it, again and again, in the fires of his own focused will, into the sword of his future self. You must starve the old identity and feed the new one. You must hold the line. You must stand guard at the gate of your mind and be the unwavering sentinel of your own becoming. You are not just thinking new thoughts, you are forging a new soul. Censor the voices of doubt, both internal and external. Curate your inputs, the books you read, the content you consume, the people you listen to. If it does not build the new you, it is reinforcing the old one. There is no middle ground. The old you will fight back. It will scream for its familiar comforts, for its diet of negativity. It will trigger anxiety and fear to try and pull you back into the cage. This is the moment of truth. This is where you must apply force. Once the inner kingdom of your mind is under new management, you cannot afford to drift. A mind fortified with belief but lacking direction is like a nuclear-powered ship without a rudder. It has immense power, but it will only travel in circles, eventually crashing on the rocks of confusion. The force of will must be channeled by the force of clarity. You must define, with painstaking precision, the person you are forcing yourself to become. This is not a vague wish. It is not "I want to be successful" or "I want to be happy." These are meaningless platitudes to the subconscious mind. They are mist, not mountains. The old you thrives in ambiguity. It uses the fog of uncertainty to whisper, "See? It's too complicated. Let's just stay here." You must burn away that fog with the white-hot light of a definite chief aim, a concept so central to Hill's philosophy that it formed the very bedrock of his teachings. You must get a pen and a piece of paper, not a keyboard, not a screen, but a physical pen and paper. The act of translating electrical impulses in your brain into physical symbols on a page is a profound act of creation. It makes the intangible tangible. Write down in a clear, concise statement exactly what you intend to create. Who is this new version of you? Don't describe your wants. Describe your reality as if it has already happened. Don't write, I want to be financially free, right? I am generating an income of X amount per month by providing Y value to the world, affording me the freedom to live in Z location and dedicate my time to my passions. Be specific. Be audacious. Let the old you tremble at the scale of your declaration. How does this new you walk? How do they talk? What skills have they mastered? What habits do they practice daily? What is their morning ritual? How do they handle adversity? How do they treat others? You are not just defining a goal, you are scripting a character. You are writing the role of a lifetime, and you are casting yourself. This document is not a dream journal, it is a blueprint. It is the architectural drawing for your new life. Walt Disney didn't just want to make cartoons, he had a crystal clear, almost hallucinatory vision of a place where families, parents, and children could have fun together. He could see it, feel it, walk through its streets in his mind long before a single shovel broke ground in Anaheim. When he pitched the idea for Disneyland, he was rejected by over 300 investors. They saw only a ridiculous, expensive fantasy. He saw a reality waiting to be born. His clarity was his shield against their doubt. His definite aim was his compass in a sea of negativity. This blueprint becomes your new holy text. You will read it twice a day, once upon waking, to set the intention for the day, and once before sleeping, to impress it upon your subconscious mind as it prepares to do its powerful work overnight. When you read it, you do not read it like a shopping list. You close your eyes, you visualize, you step into the script. You feel the emotions of having already achieved it. You feel the confidence, the peace, the power. This is the science of auto-suggestion married to the art of visualization. You are rehearsing your future. The world will constantly try to pull you off course. The news, social media, the opinions of friends and family, it is a relentless storm of distraction. Your written, definite purpose is your anchor in that storm. When you feel lost, you read it. When you feel discouraged, you read it. When you are tempted to revert to old habits, you read it. It recalibrates your internal compass and reminds you of the North Star you are sailing towards. The old you has no defense against this level of clarity. The old you survives on impulse, on reaction, on the whims of the moment. It is a creature of the fog. A definite, written, emotionally charged purpose is like a lighthouse cutting through that fog, leaving the old self nowhere to hide. It illuminates the next logical step. It makes decision-making simple. Does this action move me closer to the person described in my blueprint? If yes, I do it. If no, I do not. This is the force of a laser beam over a scattered floodlight. The floodlight illuminates a wide area weakly. The laser concentrates the same energy into a single point with enough power to cut through steel. Your focused, definite aim concentrates all your mental and spiritual energy into a force so powerful that it begins to organize the universe around you. You start to notice opportunities you were blind to before. You attract people and resources that align with your mission. This isn't magic, it is the law of the mind. The world has no choice but to respond to a person who knows, with absolute certainty, where they are going. A blueprint, no matter how precise, is just ink on paper. A fortified mind, no matter how resilient, is a silent engine. They are dormant potential. To bring them to life, to ignite the entire process of transformation, you need the fuel. You need the single most powerful catalyst in the human experience, the element that separates the casual dreamer from the world-changing achiever. You need a burning desire. This is not a preference, It is not a wish. It is not a hope. A desire is an all-consuming obsession. It is a fire in the belly that a simple no cannot extinguish. It is an unquenchable thirst that failure cannot satisfy. It is the emotional why that powers the mechanical how. It is the soul's reason for the mind's treason against the old self. The old version of you is incapable of a burning desire. It is capable of weak wants and fleeting interests, but its primary emotional state is fear. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of judgment. A burning desire is the antithesis of fear. It is a force of creation so powerful that it burns fear to ash. Where do you find it? You don't find it, you cultivate it. Look at your definite chief aim, your blueprint. That is the what now. You must attach to it the most powerful why you can summon. Why must you achieve this? And the answer cannot be superficial. To have a nice car is not a why. It's a symptom. To be rich is not a why. It's a measurement. You must go deeper. You must dig into the core of your being. Does your desire spring from love, a desire to provide an incredible life for your family, to free them from the worries that plagued your own childhood? Does it spring from a deep sense of justice? A desire to right a wrong you see in the world, to build something that serves and uplifts a community you care about? Does it spring from a passion for creation? A desire to bring an idea, a piece of art, a new technology into the world because the thought of it not existing is unbearable to you? Your why must make you emotional. If it doesn't bring a lump to your throat or a fire to your eyes, it's not strong enough. This is the fuel that will get you through the days when your motivation is gone, when your discipline is wavering, when the world has beaten you down and told you to quit. Discipline can get you through a Tuesday morning. A burning desire can get you through a decade of darkness. Think of the Wright brothers. They were not just mechanics who wanted to fly. They were possessed by the idea. It consumed their every waking thought. They endured ridicule, dangerous crashes, and years of painstaking work with no guarantee of success. What drove them? A weak wish? No, it was a burning, obsessive, magnificent desire to slip the surly bonds of Earth, to give humanity wings. That desire was the fuel that burned brighter than all their fears and failures combined. You must build your own fire. You do this by constantly focusing on your why. When you read your blueprint, don't just visualize the outcome, visualize the reason. See the faces of the people you will help. Feel the pride of overcoming the obstacles. Imagine the freedom and peace of mind you will provide for your loved ones. Connect the cold, hard goal to the warm, beating heart of your deepest purpose. This desire is what makes you magnetic. People are not drawn to your plans, they are drawn to your passion. They are drawn to the fire in your eyes. A person with a burning desire has a different energy. They walk with purpose, they speak with conviction. They radiate a certainty that is both unnerving and incredibly attractive. This is the foundation of the mastermind principle, attracting other talented, driven people who want to share in your vision and add their fire to yours. The old you wants comfort, the new you, fueled by desire, wants the challenge. The old you sees a mountain and says, "It's too high." The new you sees the same mountain and says, "The view from the top will be worth the climb." The desire for the view is stronger than the fear of the climb. So fan the flames, nurture your obsession. Protect it from the cynical and the complacent who will try to douse it with their own mediocrity. Your desire is the lifeblood of your new self. It is the nuclear reactor at the core of your being. Without it, you are just going through the motions. With it, you are an unstoppable force of nature. It is the spiritual courage that allows you to look at the massive, fortified walls of your old life and say, with a calm, terrifying certainty, "I'm coming through." With a clear blueprint in hand, a mind fortified against doubt, and a soul set ablaze with burning desire, we arrive at the point of impact. The place where the ethereal dream collides with merciless reality. We arrive at the forge. This is where the new you is not just imagined, but physically hammered into existence. The name of this forge is discipline, and the hammer you will wield is called action. Discipline is the most misunderstood word in the lexicon of success. The old you hears discipline and thinks of punishment, of restriction, of a joyless, robotic existence. This is a deliberate misinterpretation designed to keep you trapped. The truth is that discipline is the highest form of self-love. It is the act of choosing the person you want to become over the person you are right now. It is the daily, hourly, moment-by-moment vote you cast for your future self. There is no forcing without discipline. Desire is the fuel, but discipline is the engine that converts that fuel into forward motion. Vision is the map, but discipline is the act of putting one foot in front of the other, day after day, whether the sun is shining or a blizzard is raging. The new you is not born in a single, dramatic moment of transformation. It is built. It is assembled, piece by piece, through the monotonous, unglamorous, and utterly essential practice of daily habits. Your habits are the atomic structure of your identity. You do not decide your future. You decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. So look at your blueprint. Look at the person you have scripted. What are their non-negotiable daily actions? Do they wake up an hour earlier than they need to read, to plan, to exercise, to fortify their mind before the world can attack it? Then that is your new discipline. Do they make the difficult phone call first? Do they dedicate 1 hour of focused, uninterrupted work to their most important project before touching email or social media? Then that is your new discipline. Start small, but be ruthless in your consistency. The old you will fight you here more fiercely than anywhere else. It will bargain. It will rationalize. Just one day off won't hurt. You're too tired today. Start tomorrow. You've been so good. You deserve a break. These are the siren songs of mediocrity. This is the gravitational pull of your past self, trying to drag you back into its orbit. This is where the force is most needed. You must force the action. You must physically move your body against its will to do the thing you know you must do. The feeling of not wanting to do it is irrelevant. Your feelings are the echoes of the old you. You are not governed by them anymore. You are governed by your commitment. The legendary boxer Floyd Mayweather famously said, "I don't have to be in the mood to train. The clock strikes for in the morning, and I'm up, and I'm working." He understood that greatness is forged when no one is watching, on the days you don't feel like it. This is the bridge between thought and accomplishment. Every time you honor your discipline, you cast a vote for your new identity. Every time you give in, you cast a vote for the old one. Each disciplined act is a swing of the sculptor's chisel. A single swing does not reveal the statue within the marble, but thousands upon thousands of them, day after day, relentlessly chip away everything that is not the masterpiece. The universe rewards motion. It does not reward intention. You can have the greatest idea in the world, the most burning desire, but if you do not act, you are nothing more than a well-decorated ship rotting in the harbor. Action creates data. Action creates feedback. Action creates momentum. Imperfect action is infinitely more valuable than perfect inaction. Henry Ford's first several automobile companies failed. He took action. He learned. He adapted. He took action again. He did not wait for the perfect engine design. He built one, tested it, broke it, and built a better one. He forced his vision into the world through relentless, messy, disciplined action. Do not wait to be an expert. Do not wait to feel confident. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action. It is a byproduct of it. You will build confidence by doing the thing you are afraid of, by keeping the promises you make to yourself. Force yourself to make the call. Force yourself to write the first page. Force yourself to get to the gym. Force yourself to have the difficult conversation. This initial force is the activation energy required to overcome the inertia of your old self. Once you are in motion, momentum begins to build. What once required immense force will soon become habit. What was once a battle will become your new baseline. This is the alchemy of discipline. It turns painful effort into effortless character. It is the crucible that burns away the old you and forges the new one in steel. As you begin to wield the hammer of disciplined action, as you start to build momentum, You must prepare yourself for an unshakable law of nature. The universe will test you. It will test your resolve. It will test your commitment. It will test the foundations of the new you that you are so painstakingly building. Obstacles will rise up like mountains from a flat plain. Failure will visit you like an old, unwelcome friend. The world will push back against the force you are exerting upon it. This is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. It is a sign that you are on the right one. The old you interprets adversity as a stop sign. It says, "See, I told you it was impossible." Let's go back to what's safe. The new you, the one you are forcing into being, must learn to see adversity as a filter. It is the universe's way of weeding out those who are merely interested from those who are truly committed. It is the fire that burns away the weak and tempers the strong. Your relationship with failure will determine the altitude of your success. You must force a reframing. Failure is not a verdict on your worth. It is not an identity. It is simply data. It is tuition paid for your education in the school of achievement. When Edison's lab burned to the ground, destroying years of research and prototypes, his son worried he would be devastated. Edison watched the flames and said calmly, "Go get your mother and all her friends. They'll never see a fire like this again." In the face of catastrophic loss, his mind immediately began looking for the value, the lesson, the opportunity. The next morning, he gathered his employees and said, "We have a lot of rubbish to clear out of here. We can start over fresh." Within weeks, he was back to work and soon after made one of his biggest breakthroughs. That is resilience. It is not the absence of pain or disappointment. It is the ability to metabolize that pain and turn it into fuel. It is the speed at which you can recover from a blow and get back in the fight. The old you wallows, it replays the failure, magnifies the pain, and uses it as proof of its own inadequacy. The new you grieves for a moment, extracts the lesson with the precision of a surgeon, and then immediately refocuses on the mission. This process requires adaptability, the wisdom to know that a straight line is rarely the path to a great destination. Your definite aim, your North Star, must remain fixed. But the route you take to get there must be flexible. To insist on a single, rigid plan is to be brittle. It is to be the mighty oak tree that stands tall and proud until the hurricane comes and snaps it in two. You must become the reed bends with the wind. It bows to the ground in the storm, letting the destructive force pass over it, and when the sun comes out, it rises again. Abraham Lincoln endured a life that would have broken 1,000 lesser men. He failed in business. He had a nervous breakdown. He was defeated in numerous elections for public office, for state legislature, for Congress, for the Senate, for the vice presidency. The path to the White House was a graveyard of his previous ambitions. But he did not break. He bent. He learned. He adapted his strategy. He refined his message. He transmuted every single failure into a deeper understanding of himself and the nation he sought to lead. His resilience, forged in the crucible of repeated defeat, was the very quality that made him one of the greatest leaders in human history. To navigate these tests, you must also abandon the myth of the lone wolf. The old you believes, "I have to do this all myself." It is an ego-driven trap that isolates you and makes you vulnerable. The new you understands the profound power of the mastermind, Napoleon Hill's term for surrounding yourself with a council of individuals who share your drive, who can offer wisdom, perspective, and accountability. Force yourself to seek out these people. Find those who are playing the game at a higher level than you are. Be humble enough to ask for guidance. Be generous enough to offer your own strengths in return. A single mind facing a complex problem is limited. But two or more minds working in perfect harmony toward a common goal create a third, invisible, intangible force. A mastermind that can solve problems and see opportunities that no single individual could. When you are beaten down, your mastermind will lift you up. When you are blind to a flaw in your plan, they will illuminate it. When you are ready to quit, they will remind you of the fire that burns within you. The storms will come, that is a guarantee. Force yourself to build your arc before the rain begins. Forge your resilience in the small setbacks so you are ready for the large ones. Cultivate your adaptability. And assemble your mastermind, for it is in weathering the tempest, not in sailing on calm seas, that the true character of a great captain and a new you is ultimately revealed. As you weather the storms and persist through the forge of disciplined action, a subtle but profound alchemy begins to take place within you. It is a shift not of effort, but of perception. It is the final and most crucial piece of forcing your own evolution, the deliberate cultivation of a consciousness steeped in gratitude and an insatiable hunger for learning. Without this, success becomes a hollow victory and growth becomes a finite process. The old you operates from a mindset of lack. It is forever focused on what is missing. The money it doesn't have, the opportunities it missed, the skills it hasn't acquired. This focus creates a state of perpetual anxiety and dissatisfaction. It is a leaky bucket. No matter how much success you pour into it, it will never feel full. The old you believes that it will be grateful when it achieves the goal. This is a fundamental inversion of universal law. The new you, the enlightened self you are becoming, understands that gratitude is not the destination. It is the vehicle. You do not achieve success and then become grateful. You become grateful, and that state of being magnetizes success to you. Gratitude is an active force. It is a declaration to the universe that you are open and ready to receive more. Force yourself to practice gratitude with the same discipline you apply to your work. Begin and end each day by cataloging, not your wants, but your haves. Do not just think them. Write them down or speak them aloud. Be specific. Don't just be grateful for your health. Be grateful for the lungs that draw breath, for the heart that beats tirelessly without your command, for the eyes that can witness a sunrise. Don't just be grateful for a roof over your head. Be grateful for the specific feeling of warmth and safety it provides against the cold. Be grateful for the challenges. This is the master level. Be grateful for the failure that taught you a priceless lesson. Be grateful for the critic whose doubt fueled your fire. Be grateful for the struggle that forged your strength. When you can find the seed of equivalent benefit in every adversity, as Hill taught, you become invincible. You transmute poison into medicine. This practice rewires your brain. It shifts your default focus from what is broken to what is working, from lack to abundance. A person in a state of genuine gratitude cannot simultaneously be in a state of fear. The two emotions cannot occupy the same mental space. This grateful posture is the fertile ground for the second essential trait, a commitment to lifelong learning. The old you believes that learning ends with formal education. It sees its knowledge as a fixed asset. The new you understands that the moment you stop learning, you start dying. The world is in a constant state of flux. Strategies that work today will be obsolete tomorrow. To anchor your identity to what you already know is to chain yourself to a sinking ship. You must force yourself to remain a student, always. You must approach every day with what the Zen masters call shoshin, or beginner's mind, a mind that is open, eager, and free from the preconceptions that blind the expert. Read voraciously and not just in your own field. Read history, philosophy, biology, art. The great breakthroughs often come from the intersection of different disciplines. Listen more than you speak. Every person you meet knows something you don't. Be humble enough to learn from them. Andrew Carnegie, for all his industrial might, was a voracious reader and a patron of learning, founding over 2,500 libraries. He knew that his empire was built not just on steel, but on the continual acquisition and application of specialized knowledge. He never stopped learning, never stopped seeking out men who knew more than he did on specific subjects to form his mastermind. This commitment to learning is the ultimate tool for outgrowing yourself. The person you are today is the sum of what you have learned up to this point. Therefore, to become someone new, you must learn new things. You must intentionally expose yourself to ideas that challenge your current beliefs. You must acquire skills that the old you would deem too difficult. Learn to code, learn a new language, Learn to play an instrument. Learn public speaking. Each new skill you acquire carves a new neural pathway in your brain. It literally expands the architecture of your mind, making you a more capable, more adaptable, and more valuable human being. This combination, a heart full of gratitude and a mind hungry for knowledge, is the secret to sustainable growth. Gratitude keeps you centered and joyful in the present moment, immunizing you from the hollow chase of more. Learning ensures that your future self will always be more capable than your present self. It guarantees that your evolution never stops. You are not forcing yourself toward a static finish line, a final version of you that does not exist. You are forcing yourself to fall in love with the process of becoming. You are shedding the skin of who you were, not to reveal a final form, but to reveal a being capable of infinite, continuous growth. The goal is not to arrive, the goal is to become a perp. So here we stand at the precipice of becoming. We have journeyed through the catacombs of the mind, dethroned the ghosts of the past, and drawn the blueprint for a new reality. We have ignited the soul with a burning desire, gripped the hammer of discipline, and learned to weather the inevitable storms of existence with resilience and grace. We have discovered the alchemy of gratitude and the infinite power of a student's mind. And now the final truth reveals itself. The act of forcing is not a temporary, brutal push to get you over a hump. It is the adoption of a new way of being. It is the conscious and permanent choice to live at the edge of your capabilities. It is a life of deliberate, intentional, and glorious discomfort. The old you is the siren song of comfort. It is the warm bed on a cold morning. It is the easy path. It is the praise of the crowd for conforming. To outgrow it is to choose the cold floor, the hard road, the lonely pursuit of a vision only you can see. It is to accept that your growth will make some people uncomfortable. It will challenge their own excuses. Let them be. Your journey is not about them. The entire universe is built on this principle of forceful becoming. The star does not form from a gentle gathering of dust. It is born in the violent, crushing gravitational collapse of a nebula. A diamond is not a soft stone. It is a piece of simple carbon that has been subjected to unimaginable pressure and heat. Life itself did not timidly emerge. It clawed its way out of the primordial soup, fighting, adapting, and forcing its own evolution over billions of years. To be static is to be in defiance of the very nature of the cosmos. To grow, to strive, to force your own becoming, is to align yourself with the most powerful creative force in existence. This is your birthright, to take the raw material of your current self with all its flaws, its fears, and its history, and to apply the focused pressure of your will until a diamond emerges. To take the scattered dust of your potential and to collapse it inward with the gravity of your definite purpose until a new star ignites and lights up your world. The person you were yesterday is gone. It is a memory. The person you will be tomorrow is a fantasy. All you have is the here and now, this very moment. In this moment, you can make a choice. You can take a breath and choose the old, familiar thought pattern, or you can force a new one. You can choose the easy, reactive action, or you can force the disciplined one. You can perceive this moment through the lens of lack, or you can force yourself to see it through the lens of gratitude. This is it. There are no more secrets. There is no magic pill. There is only the decision made again and again in the crucible of each passing second, the decision to force it. Force yourself to wake up, force yourself to plan, force yourself to learn, force yourself to act when you do not feel like acting. Force yourself to be kind when you feel slighted. Force yourself to be disciplined when comfort calls. Force yourself to see failure as a lesson. Force yourself to stand back up one more time than you are knocked down. Force yourself to be grateful for the very air in your lungs. Force yourself to look in the mirror and see not the tired, familiar face of the past, but the determined, fiery eyes of the giant you are becoming. This is the great work of your life. It is more important than your career, your finances, or your social standing. Because from this work, all other things are born. When you change your inner world, your outer world cannot help but transform to match it. The silent alarm is no longer ringing. It is a deafening roar. The ghost at the window is no longer tapping. It is shattering the glass, demanding that you step out of the stale, suffocating room of your old life and into the storm of your glorious potential. Do not betray that future self. Do not let it die as a whisper in the back of your mind. Give it a voice. Give it a heart. Give it your hands to build with. The shedding is painful. The cracking of the shell takes all your strength. But on the other side is not an end. On the other side is the beginning. The beginning of a life so rich, so meaningful, so powerful that the old you would not even be able to comprehend it. The path is laid, the principles are clear. The power is and always has been within you. Now, begin, force it, become it.